Pro boxing fans, Johnny Nelson, we're here. Big female fight card, big card in general. Jonas Price, a fight that a lot of people have been asking for in this circle, and finally got it. It's taken a bit of time, but we're finally here. What do you make of the main event before we talk about the other fights?
I think the main event's a really good fight. You've got two former Olympians. Remember Tash, Miss GB, she was like the talk of the town. I remember seeing a 2012 fight, Katie Taylor in the Olympics. Unbelievable noise there was. Went through a career, got her lost, people wrote her off, came back again, and now she's getting the cream of the crop in regards to her career at the back end of the career. Then you get the young lioness in Lauren Price coming through. That's hungry. She's in the 9th professional fight. She's expecting it's her destiny. People are forgetting the likes of David Hay against Carl Thompson. We can go on. And I always say the one thing you can't buy, borrow, and pretend to have is experience. And the experience in professional boxing, there's nothing that mimics it. I think Lauren has to take the pace away from Natasha. If she doesn't take the pace away, I think Natasha's experience and skill that she's picked up along the way in her career will do the job for her. But Lauren is very fit. She's an all-round sportswoman. So she's one of the few people that adapts very well in any sport they go in. But boxing is a real truth teller. So we'll see.
I do want to talk quickly move on to Caroline Dubois because there's a lot of people on this card. But she said in that press conference, I want people to talk about me after these fights. I just don't want to be a normal fighter. I want to be about a person that people talk about. Do you see that with Caroline? Do you see that sort of attitude of a great fighter?
Caroline was the best talker up there. Caroline's the only one that was up there that you were glued to whatever she said. You believed every word she said. You believed it because she believes it. Caroline. She just reminded me some old school lines she's dropping there, but she's saying them, she believes them. And I don't think she's anywhere near the finished article. I think she's got a tough fight on Friday night. But again, I think she raises the bar again and shows, listen, this is what I'm about. I don't doubt, disbelieve, second guess anything that Caroline's saying up there because I find her very convincing. I find her performance improving every fight. And I think she, to me, stood out amongst everybody on the top table in regards to how she executed the message she was trying to get across.
She's always talked about that fight with Katie Taylor, just being involved in one big clash with her idol. But do you see her taking over? Do you see that?
Let me tell you, when Lauren Price and Natasha Jonas were stood there in the head-to-head, and all the other fighters were stood at the side watching, like in awe, Caroline's like a caged lion thinking, I'll take some of them, man. I'll have some of that. And I was looking at her thinking, she's mad. And I like that hunger. I like that. I don't care where you are. You might be weights bigger than me, but I'm coming for you. You better not be there when I'm there. I like that. So this is how much she stood out to me.
That is interesting. I do want to talk about boxing away as well. Let's talk about Eubank Jr, Conor Benn. Big press conference going on. Talk to me. We're obviously past the press conference. They've sold the fight. Tickets are going to sell and everything else. What happens for you regarding everything, all the stipulations in regards to weight, going into the fight, inactivity for Conor Benn? Okay. Break down.
That's the only reason why I go against Conor Benn, because of inactivity. I think he's not boxed for 15 months and his career is staggered. And at one point, I said, this guy's one of the fastest improving fights I've seen in this country. Unfortunately, his career came to a halt. The progression of his career came to a halt. And I think that's the only thing I weigh against him, because Chris in his last fight, I didn't think he looked outstanding. But he's been more consistent. He's been busier. I think Chris sold the fight. With the egg, regardless of what you think, Chris sold the fight, and it was like it was on every headline going. So he sold the fight regardless, and I don't knock him for it. I'll probably not put that on another man, but these two are different gravy. You know what I mean? So things that are said, that they're speaking about each other's family and things like that, and I'm like, they've crossed the line already. And I think Chris, as far as he was concerned, we told everybody, I've been boxing, 11, 14 years or whatever, and I've always been booed in the UK, like I'm the villain and I've done nothing wrong. Then he pointed across the corner and said, this guy here, you're treating him like he's a hero, and I've done nothing wrong, so I'm going to play the villain for you. And so he basically told you what he was going to do, He'll play the villain. That's why he smashed the egg, and he did it with a cool look on his face. You know what I mean? To say, oh, I'll play that game. So you listen to when they're talking, there's nothing that's held back. You think, oh, you know, they're talking about his dad, they're talking about the drug cheat, you know, all this sort of stuff. And I'm like thinking, what's your soul here? You don't need to do anything else. This is personal. This ain't just to sell it, it's personal. Like their dads were, it's personal. And even in regards to their dads, if you give Nigel a chance to fight Chris again, he'd take it in a heartbeat right now. No matter how much he says, you know what, I'm a changed person, he'd take it in a heartbeat instinctively.
With Eubank Jr, is it a method to the madness, as we've seen? Obviously sold the fight really well. I think there was a media day and Carl Froch did a video and he said he didn't speak to nobody. He walked in, did his photo shoots and walked out. He said it was a bit of a prick move because I know him a little bit.
No, it wasn't a prick move because basically he, as far as he thinks, it's a nest of vipers. You know, because one day everybody's slapping you on the back, next day everybody's putting two fingers up to you. So I'm going to play the bad man. I'm going to play the villain because you don't show me consistent support. So I see what he's done. I'm like, I can't even blame you because even though he did that, people are talking about him for doing that. You know, that aloof nature about him. You make people feel uncomfortable in your presence and don't know where they are in your presence. All of a sudden, people want you more, and that's exactly what he's done.
Final one before I let you go. Daniel Dubois, Alexander Usyk. We talked about Daniel Dubois whilst we were in Riyadh. There seems to be now talks of that fight, which means obviously at the moment Joseph Parker's going to have to wait on the sideline. But it was a voluntary for Daniel at the time. It seems like the undisputed could happen again. What do you make of these talks potentially for an October fight in Riyadh?
I think if it does happen again, Daniel's going to go in with a newfound confidence, and I think. Yeah, you know what? He put Usyk down with the shot. He wasn't a foul. But the one thing about Usyk is, if he boxes you once, you know that's the best time to get him. Because when you've got to box him a second time, he's downloaded your blueprint. He understands who you are, and he beats you better. He did it with Tyson Fury. He did it with Anthony Joshua. He did it with every man he's boxed twice. He beat him easier the second time than he did the first time, and I believe that will be the same again. With Daniel, I do believe that. But even though Daniel's going with a newfound confidence, I get it, I do understand it. But this is what I believe.
Interesting. Right, I'm going to let you go because unfortunately there's a bit of a queue for you and I think I've caused that, so I do apologise. Someone was actually talking about your feet size before. What is your shoe size?
I'm a size 9.
They're not size 9, Johnny.
All right, 9 might be 13.
Yeah, we'll go with the 13. Listen, Johnny Nelson, you know what to say about Big Fee anyway, I'll end on that.
Oh, you're sick, man.
Johnny Nelson, always a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much. Talk to pro boxing fans. Top man.